Yo, 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 and welcome back. Day three of the launch week is underway. And boy, do we have something fun for today. I'm just going to slowly unveil it so you can get a load of that. We are at Bindplane from now supporting 1 million managed collectors. So yeah, this deserves a little pat on the back because yeah, hell yeah, that is wild. Uh, just a bit of a backstory there. Last year we were thrilled to get to 500,000, and that was a big milestone for us. It's not even half year through 2025, and we're at 1 million. So who knows? Maybe 2 million is soon on the horizon, but boy, this is incredibly exciting for us. And super happy now because scale is literally not really an issue anymore. Like if you doesn't matter how many collectors you have, Bindplane will work and will manage them effortlessly. And yeah, today we have a much smarter person than me in the room, Andy, who is one of the maintainers for OpAmp in the Open Telemetry project. And he knows the ins and outs of what this actually means for scaling to 1 million collectors. And yeah, and then of course, Ryan is here as well with me, and he's going to do a pretty exciting demo. So, stay tuned for the next 15 minutes. And let's just jump right into the backstory of it. I'm going to switch over to a bit more of an exciting view, and that's this one right here. And yeah, Ryan, you could essentially go in and show us that little beautiful 964,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, here we are in a Bindplane system. We've got 1 million collectors connected. So you see a handful of configs here with 5,000 agents pumping out data to some different backends. And then we've got, just a ton of other configurations here. I think we've got a couple hundred configurations in this system with 5 to 20,000 agents, on each, and a total of 1 million collectors here connected to Bindplane, routing data to different backends. So, Adnan was talking about scale not being an issue. I think really most enterprises probably never get, near 1 million. But there are definitely cases where we're seeing folks push up against that and start to think about going beyond that. You think of like manufacturing equipment, IoT devices, monitoring these with open telemetry. The number of collectors you need deployed starts to scale pretty significantly, and having Bindplane be able to connect to those collectors, manage them, and control all of them from a central place is really powerful, and has not been an easy feat. We've been building Bindplane for a couple of years now. Andy, who's a maintainer on OpAmp, also wrote some of the first lines, or maybe the first line of code on Bindplane, and so knows the system really well, understands kind of everything it's taken to get to this point. And so I want to hand it over to him just to talk through a little bit of the technical pieces, which I think some folks on the call will probably find interesting, about what types of challenges you run into when you're really trying to get to 1 million agents, and how we dealt with some of those.
Sure, thanks. So Bindplane uses the OpAmp protocol to communicate with agents. OpAmp stands for Open Agent Management Protocol, and it's part of the Open Telemetry project. We were there from the beginning. We're committed to OpAmp as our management protocol, and we've been doing this for a long time. The OpAmp protocol, however, defines the interaction between a management server and a single agent. And how you do that at scale with 1 million agents is obviously much different than one. So I gave a talk about OpAmp at KubeCon in London a few months ago and talked about the challenges of fleet management at scale. So I'll sort of recap some of the things I mentioned there. One is dealing with agent reconnects, which can happen. Suppose you're deploying a new version of your server. The agents will temporarily disconnect from the server when a new node appears. They'll all attempt to reconnect. And exponential backoff can help with this, but it can still be difficult to manage this huge influx of connections. They also will send their status when they connect, and the server will need to process this information and send any updates to the agent, syncing their status and doing that all and making sure that happens reliably is certainly a challenge. There's also the issue of silent agents or disconnected agents or transient agents. If you've got a million agents, the chances of all million, being consistently connected all the time, you'll have systems that will themselves be rebooted or and the agent running on them will restart. During that process, if you think about over a period of time, you're going to have some blips in these agents, and the server needs to be able to handle that seamlessly and respond to those changes in agents and make sure everything is synchronized appropriately and configurations are deployed. And speaking of configurations, syncing configurations across a fleet of, again, a million agents is a challenge. You can send the agent configuration or report back success or any errors, but if you're sending the same configuration to a million agents, do you do it all at once? Which ones do you update first? What if you encounter errors? We've built into Bindplane a rollout mechanism, and there's several different ways this works, but generally it will start out with a few agents, make sure that those are configured properly, and then exponentially increase the number of agents that receive the new configuration until that rollout is complete. And that really ensures that all of these agents are in sync. They're all running the right configuration. You get good feedback in the UI as to the process of that rollout. And that's how we can do it at scale, do it for 1 million agents.
Awesome. Thanks, Andy. Yeah, and I don't know if you can post the link here. If not, maybe we can just like add it to the live stream after, or like put it in the blog post. Because like Andy said, he did a full talk at KubeCon with some other folks on fleet management at scale with OpAmp and the hotel collector. And so for anyone really interested in the details here, would highly encourage you to check it out. Also, I know Andy will be at Hotel Community Day, June 26th. So for any folks that will be there in Denver, feel free. We'll have a booth there. A couple folks from the team will be there. So definitely don't hesitate to connect with Andy and others, and would love, I'm sure, to kind of nerd out with you on some of this stuff. We'll also obviously be at KubeCon, as we always are. I think it's in Atlanta this year in October. So Andy will be there as well, probably hanging out at the Hotel Observatory. So anyway, don't be a stranger. We love talking about this stuff. And yeah, we're really excited. Hope to see some of you pushing the limits here and getting close to this 1 million agent limit so we can keep pushing on further.
Yeah, up to 2 million for next year. No pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Cool. Well, thanks everyone. Yeah, Anand, Andy, anything else?
Yeah, just say thanks for everybody joining. We like keeping these short and sweet just to be respectful of everybody's time. If you want to dig deeper, there is a blog post you can check out on the Launch Week Hub. And yeah, join us again for another one of these tomorrow.
Cool. See you all tomorrow.
See you guys.
See you.
See ya.